Virgo likes to keep themselves busy, and Gemini likes to be learning new things, sharing experiences with people, talking to them. And Sagittarius obviously is also an experience seeker. And I think because of their ability to get lost in information, experiences, conversations, they can really allow themselves to not deal with their feelings and not show their feelings, because they can very much do something else to take up their time, To them, sometimes I feel like feelings are a waste of time. What's good, you guys? It's your girl Sarah. How you doing today? Happy Scorpio season. Today I have a really fun astrology list for you. It's from Astrology Pictures. I'm going to post it in a bit. And it's all about your feelings and how you show your feelings, if you're comfortable showing your feelings, if you like to hide your feelings. We have 4 different categories, and let's just get into it. Okay, first up we have the they don't show feelings but wish they could crowd. Here we have Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. I think it's actually funny that 3/4 of the mutable signs are here. The only one that's missing is Pisces, which makes a lot of sense because Pisces is always showing their feelings, so they will not be here. But I'm trying to understand and think about why the rest of the mutables would be here. And I think it's actually funny because Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius, most of the mutables, they are always moving on to something else that is happening, right? Like they're always interested in something new. They're mutable, right? Like they get bored really easily. And I feel like because of that, they also don't give themselves enough time to express their feelings. I would say these 3 signs, they can sometimes have the rep of like being a little bit too logical. For obvious reasons, Virgo and Gemini are very much logical because they're ruled by Mercury, right? And I think a lot of times their feelings catch up with them, and that's when they get really, really overwhelmed. Same with Sagittarius. Sagittarius likes to lose themselves in experiences and have fun. And, I feel like when things get a little too serious in terms of feelings, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius, typically they want to run away from it. They're not running towards the feelings, they're running away from it. And I think that's why they don't show their feelings, is because they're almost scared of being stuck in that feeling. And I'm sure Virgos, Geminis, and Sagittariuses, you guys look at other people and how much their feelings hold them back sometimes. And I think that's a scary place for you guys to be when you're thinking about yourself being there. That's why, Virgo likes to keep themselves busy. And Gemini likes to be learning new things, sharing experiences with people, talking to them. And Sagittarius obviously is also an experience seeker. And I think because of their ability to get lost in information, experiences, conversations, they can really allow themselves to not deal with their feelings and not show their feelings, because they can very much do something else to take up their time, To them, sometimes I feel like feelings are a waste of time, I would say. And even just thinking about Virgo, I think Virgos have a lot of internal feelings. Trust me, they're looking around trying to figure out how they feel about everybody, and their inner monologue is very, very detailed in terms of how they feel about you. It's the fact that they have to share that out loud and tell it to people. I think for Virgo, that means that they're putting too much of their business out for people to see. Granted, if it's your friend or your partner or your family, like, you should tell them how you feel. But Virgo, I feel like sometimes can be hypercritical of themselves, and if they were to share their feelings, what it would mean about them. But also they're keeping it bottled up, and sometimes that is just too much for them, which is why they lose themselves in their studies and their work, things that keep them busy. And we already know how Gemini is. I'm a Gemini moon, so I understand Gemini energy when it comes to your feelings, because your moon sign is your inner feelings, right? It's your inner world. And as a Gemini moon, I can confidently say that instead of feeling my feelings, I'm constantly rationalizing it and trying to understand it from a logical perspective. And I always say on this channel, when you are using your brain to figure out why your heart feels a certain way, you're going to be in murky waters and you're not really allowing your heart to express its deepest desires and for your heart to let go of this feeling, because you're not even giving yourself a chance to feel that feeling, Gemini. You're just already moving on to the next thing. And I'm thinking about Sagittarius energy and feelings. I feel like Sagittarius is that maybe are lower vibrational. They have an emotional block a lot of times when it comes to talking about their feelings, because they don't want it to be thrown back in their face, you know? Again, Sagittarius hates feeling stuck. And when you are feeling your feelings and when you're in your feelings, right? Like you're in your feelings, that saying, it makes Sagittarius feel overwhelmed and it makes them feel like they're gonna be in this feeling forever, which is why they sometimes run away from their feelings instead of just dealing with them head on. Okay, next category, we have they show all their feelings and they wish they wouldn't. Leo, Aries, Scorpio. Ooh, yeah. Honestly, for the Scorpios out there that are probably looking at this and being like, why are we in this category? We don't show all our feelings. If we're really thinking about Scorpio energy around people that they're comfortable with, we do show all of our feelings. You know what I mean? Like, we put it all out there, our big feelings, and we know Scorpio is intense, so we really do put it all out there. And when we are deeply in our feelings and we have no control over it, we say everything. We say the negative, the ugly, the bad, the good, all of it to the people that we feel comfortable with, because we want them to know where we're coming from, where we stand. Like, we don't want there to be any confusion when it comes to how we feel. And sometimes we can be very, very aggressive with the way that we express said feelings, because it kind of feels like word vomit, especially for us Scorpios, where for the most part, we try to keep it contained and we don't want to, you know, show all of our cards. But when we reach that breaking point of like, okay, this is what I've been feeling and now I'm going to tell you everything I've been feeling, there is no stopping us. There is no like, I'm going to share a little bit about how I feel. If the feelings are coming out, the feelings are coming out. And right after, depending on how we feel towards the person, if we're comfortable with them, or depending on how, you know, evolved we are in our own way, we might be very regretful, you know, because you might feel embarrassed as a Scorpio for putting it all out there, or you might feel like you gave your power away. I feel like that's another thing that Scorpios struggle with when they share their feelings, is they think that they're giving all their power away, and now because the other person knows where they stand, they think that they're weak now. You know, the Scorpio thinks that they're weak, which couldn't be further from the truth. Granted, if we're talking about like, you know, in a business setting, yeah, you probably shouldn't put all your feelings out there. But in real life, you know, in real life, you should be able to express all of your feelings, and the right kind of person won't use your feelings against you, Scorpio, okay? And then if we're talking about Leo and Aries, obviously they're also two fire signs, right? And I always talk about how fire signs are very, very passionate. They also like to tell people where they stand. Leo is one of the most passionate signs, obviously, and also one of the most authentic signs. You know, you're not gonna make a Leo fake anything. And if their feelings are hurt, you're gonna hear the lion roar. They're gonna obviously go off on you. And again, it comes back to a power thing. For Aries as well. Aries is also a Martian like Scorpio. So they can't help but let people know how they feel. And all three of these signs, Leo, Aries, and Scorpio, they share their feelings loudly and boldly. They're not just like sitting there and be like, this is what I've been feeling. No, like Leo, Aries, and Scorpio will sit there and they will be very, very loud and bold in terms of how they feel. And there is no, you know what I mean? There's no walking back from it. You can't, like I say, put the toothpaste back in the tube. When Aries, Leo, and Scorpio share their feelings, you're gonna know where they stand for a long, long time. And I think for both Aries and Leo, because they're fire signs, it's really, really hard for them to stop as well. Because once that fire gets going, it's going, you know? That's why Sagittarius isn't here, because Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. So the fire gets big, it gets small, it gets big, it gets small. So they can really control their behavior when it comes to expressing their feelings, right? Like they can run from it if they want to, because they can distract themselves easily, Sagittarius, right? Whereas Leo and Aries, Leo being a fixed fire sign, they can really sit in those big feelings and ruminate in those feelings. And once Leo is sitting there in that fixed fire energy and they have all these feelings, they're gonna burn you, you know what I mean? Or they're gonna be very, very passionate, because not all feelings obviously are negative, but they're very, very passionate. And same with Aries, because they are a cardinal sign, they have no problem initiating those feelings, initiating those big feelings and putting it all out there for everyone to see. But because they're also, again, Mars ruled, Aries is, they feel like they should have walked it back if these feelings get them to a place where people might now have power over them. I think that is the thing with all three of these signs. Like Scorpio, Aries, and Leo are very powerful signs, right? They love to be the lone soldiers in their own way. But when you're thinking about power and feelings and emotions, a lot of people in positions of power will tell you when you share your feelings, you're giving your power away. And I think Aries, Leo, and Scorpio needs to understand that if you are around people who use your feelings against you and will feel like now they have power over you, you know, those toxic relationships where if one of you says, oh, I want you, oh, I miss you, now, you know, you have the power. And then when you say it to them, now they have the power. Like that shit is toxic, right? Because you're almost waiting to get the power back, but you're using each other's feelings as a way to confuse each other and confuse the dynamic of this relationship. Okay, next category we have is they show all their feelings and they like it that way. Here we have Cancer, Pisces, and Libra. And yeah, I think that's very much true. Cancer, Pisces, and Libra lead with their feelings, and it's very hard for them to hide their feelings. It's very hard for them to shy away from their feelings, and you'll see it on their face. You know what I mean? They're sad, they're angry, they're happy. They're sharing that openly. They don't have good, well, Libra has a good poker face. Libra has a great poker face, actually. But the thing is, Libra is also Venus ruled, so they enjoy expressing their feelings verbally. You know what I mean? Like, although Libra has a great poker face and they're not, you know, they're not ones to be crying all the time in front of people, maybe like a Cancer or Pisces, but they very much are expressive verbally. They're an air sign, a Venus ruled air sign, so they're expressing their feelings and they're not embarrassed by their feelings, you know, because they're such communicative people. And the thing with Libra is because of the way they express themselves, typically Libra gets a good reaction from other people when they're expressing their feelings because they're usually doing it in a very eloquent way. It makes sense, you know what I mean? They make everyone feel safe. So Libra in general has a really easy time expressing their feelings. When you're looking at these signs, all the signs in the zodiac, and you're thinking about how they share their feelings, really think about the archetype of that sign. When you look at a Scorpio child, you know what I mean? Or an Aries child, or a Virgo child, or a Capricorn child, like, of course, the way they express their feelings because of probably the experiences they had in childhood, they're gonna feel a little bit hesitant in the way that they're expressing their feelings because of the way it was received, right? How you were reacted to when you were expressing your feelings as a child, or how you saw your parents engaging in conversations where feelings were expressed, that affects the way that you show your feelings in adulthood, right? So I think Libra in general, because of the way that they express themselves and they talk and they just move in the world, their feelings are usually met with positive responses, so they feel very comfortable expressing their feelings. And Cancer and Pisces, you know, they show all their feelings because they're water signs and they really don't care about how it will be used against them. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of flowing with it. You know, Pisces being a mutable water sign, they allow their feelings to come and go no matter what is happening, high, low, and they're really good at also like sharing their feelings and leaving and not really caring about how it came off to other people. Granted, maybe they'll go home and they'll be like, oh my God, like today was such an emotional day, but they don't regret the fact that they shared their feelings and it was an emotional day, you know? And Cancer, as we know, is a cardinal water sign. So Cancer just feels they're most comfortable when they're expressing these feelings because to Cancer, it's a cathartic feeling, right? They really feel like they released it when they were able to share these big feelings. And Cancer is ruled by the moon, so their feelings are ever evolving and changing every 2.5 days because they're ruled by the moon and the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So Cancer really has no other option but to express these feelings as they come. Otherwise, they're gonna blow up. You know what I mean? Whereas you look at like Scorpio, the other water sign that is not in this category, one of our, you know, co-rulers is Pluto. And Pluto rules the underworld, right? Repressed emotions, you know? So it's very, very hard for Scorpio, even though we have big feelings, to put it all out there. And when we do is when we feel a little bit guilty because we feel like now people have a deeper understanding of who we are because we shared these big feelings. And sometimes we can be very, very embarrassed by that because we feel like now people see us, see through us, and that can be a very, very scary place for Scorpio. Whereas Pisces and Cancer, they're very proud of sharing their feelings because that is just their way of being. They're ruled by the moon, Cancer's ruled by the moon, and then Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, so they're in la la land, and they're very much feeling a positive energy when it comes to sharing said feelings. Whereas when you're ruled by Mars and Pluto, you have a lot of negative experiences and reactions when your feelings were probably shared as a child. So now you feel like you have to repress these feelings. Okay, now the final category that we have is they don't show their feelings and they like it that way. Here we have Taurus, Aquarius, and Capricorn. Yes. Yes, to these three signs, feelings are very much a private thing, okay? They don't feel the need for their feelings to be even seen or accepted by other people. Like, they don't really care if their feelings are validated by other people. I think everyone should want their feelings to be validated, and I think it's very nice for your feelings to be validated. But out of all the zodiac signs, Taurus, Aquarius, and Capricorn, it doesn't really affect them if their feelings are met with grace. You know what I mean? And that's probably why they don't really share them that often, because they're like, you know what, I've been doing this on my own for a long time. I don't really need to show my feelings for them to feel validated. And it's funny because all three of these signs can be very stubborn in their own way, and they like to do things their own way. And because of that, I feel like that's also another reason why they don't like to share their feelings, because they don't want to give you an opportunity to have a conversation with them about their feelings and why they feel that way. They can be kind of closed off in that way too. Like, we know Taurus, although they're Venus ruled, Taurus is very much stubborn when it comes to how they feel. And it's harder for Taurus to express their feelings because they would rather just sit and self-soothe. That's something that I have noticed with Taurus placements. They're really good at self-soothing, and they know what they need to do to make their inner world feel calm. Like, they have these routines for themselves to make themselves feel safe and happy. Or if they're angry, you know what I mean? Like, when Taurus blows up once every 4 years, it's crazy. But within those 4 years, they're doing everything they can to stay happy and to sometimes suppress shit. I would say sometimes Taurus be suppressing shit. And that's also why they don't like to show it, because when Taurus shows their feelings, a lot of times I feel like it blows up in their face, you know? That is why Taurus is really, really good at staying calm, because they are really good at protecting their peace, right? So if their peace is fucked with, that is the only time that I feel like Taurus really blows up and shows their feelings, because for the most part, Taurus knows what they need to do to emotionally regulate themselves. Aquarius is the king and queen of solitude, you know? A lot of people like to call Aquarius emotionless. That is just not true. It takes them a while to process their emotions, and that is why they don't show their feelings right away also, because Aquarius knows and understands that they do their best work when it comes to understanding their feelings alone. I think they know their own process, and they know that it takes them a while. Even if you are an Aquarius that doesn't understand about yourself yet, it takes you a while to process your emotions, longer than the average person. And I think because of that is why they don't show their feelings, because when you are sharing your feelings, sometimes people have questions, sometimes people want you to expand on it, and that makes Aquarius nervous sometimes, because they're like, listen, now I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to give you the silent treatment because I'm figuring shit out in my head, right? And a lot of people meet that energy that Aquarius has with, like, you don't care, you don't really want me, or you know what I mean? Like, why are you so cold? And it's because Aquarius is just moving at their own pace. And because of that, they don't like to generally show their feelings externally as often as other signs do. And they like it that way because then they're not asked questions and they're not asked to share more, which makes them very, very, very uncomfortable. Because it would be easy if you could just sit there and be like, all right, these are my feelings. And the person's like, great, these are my feelings. And then you leave. But usually it's a bigger conversation, and that can make Aquarius very, very nervous if they aren't at a place in their journey where they feel like they can expand on their feelings and really speak on it. And finally, we have Capricorn. Capricorn is Saturn ruled, and because of that, they can be very, very serious. And I think a lot of Capricorns, I'm a Capricorn rising, they feel as though maybe feelings are a waste of time, even though they're not. But this is something that, you know, a lot of Capricorns, maybe a thought that they have in their head, and that's why they like to keep busy. Capricorns like to keep busy because that's something that they can control, and I think feelings are something that obviously we have zero control over. Like your mind cannot control your heart. It just cannot, you know? And because of that, Capricorn can get overwhelmed if they're too in their head about their feelings, you know? So Capricorn doesn't like to share their feelings. Again, it comes back to power also for Capricorn. They feel like if they were to show their feelings, the other party would have too much power over them. And because of that, they like to keep quiet and kind of run through their feelings in their own head. If a Capricorn is sharing their feelings with you, that means they really, really, really feel safe with you. And Capricorn has feelings. You know, they're Cancer's sister sign, but they're very much scared of their feelings taking over and them not being able to lead the life that they're comfortable leading, which is a life that is filled with responsibility and with routine. You know, when feelings take over, I've said this before, sometimes they can throw you off your routine. And because of that, they don't like to share their feelings because now they can control how productive they are throughout their day. All right, you guys, that is the end of this video. Let me know what you think. Which category hit for you the most? I feel like my moon sign hit for me a lot. Let me know if it resonated more for your moon sign, for your Venus sign. I would love to know. I'm gonna link the socials over here. Give me a follow on any of them if you want to. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on Thursday for the podcast. Bye.